Welcome to Loop Theme Park Adventures and the next video in our grading series here on the channel. In this series we evaluate 5 key areas that make up your day at a theme park and give each of them a grade from A+ to F-, followed by an overall grade at the end. In today's video we continue our journey up the east coast to Ingoldmells, just outside of Skegness, where we visited Fantasy Island on the 23rd of July 2020. If you enjoy what we do here on the channel, then we'd really appreciate a subscribe. Let's get into the grades. Fantasy Island's skyline is dominated by their 2 huge Vekoma roller coasters, Odyssey and Millennium. Odyssey is an SLC model which stands at 167 feet tall and features a unique layout with 5 inversions. Unfortunately, like many SLCs, this will beat you up a bit, and I found the headbanging a bit too uncomfortable to really enjoy it. Millennium, on the other hand, is probably the smoothest Vekoma coaster we have operating here in the UK. This is a custom MK1200 model which opened in 1999 and features 3 inversions and rides fantastically well. This, for me, is the headline attraction at the park. There are 3 other roller coasters on site. Rhombus Rocket is a family-powered coaster built by WGH Transportation, which features a fun 2-lap layout. Ice Mountain is an indoor Reverchon spinning coaster which pulled some insane forces on the second half of the course. Finally, there is the kiddie coaster Jellykins, another WGH Transportation ride which has operated since 1996. Fantasy Island has a bunch of thrilling flat rides on site, including Magic, manufactured by Huss, which is operating a long and forceful cycle, Volcano, which is an SNS space shot tower, a Star Flyer, and a variety of standard thrill rides that you see at many other seaside amusement parks, such as Twister, Techno Jump, and Fireball. There are also many family favourites on offer here, such as Dodgems, a mini drop tower, a mini wave swinger, and Elephants. One of Fantasy Island's selling points is its large indoor area, known as the Pyramid, which features some really nicely themed family-focused attractions, such as the charming Seaquarium, a water-based dark ride which takes you through numerous UV aquatic scenes, 2 Contours, which is a monorail-style ride taking you on a journey around the interior of the pyramid and into themed areas featuring volcanoes and fountains. There is also Jungle Adventure, the Balloons ride, and Crazy Golf on offer. Rides and attractions gets a B-. Plenty to do here with 2 big headline coasters, a lot of really quirky, charming family attractions, and a smattering of intense thrill rides. Fantasy Island is split into 3 areas at present. The entrance from the car park takes you into the first of 2 outdoor sections. From here you can access Odyssey, Ice Mountain, Star Flyer, and some of the smaller attractions. This is by far the smallest section of the park. From here you walk past some of the food outlets and into the Pyramid, a large indoor section featuring some surprisingly nice and immersive theming across 2 floors. In here you have the entrance to Millennium and a variety of dark rides and family attractions, as well as arcade machines, a food court, and some shops. This is definitely the best themed section of the park, with lots of little details on display and even a snow machine. Continuing through the Pyramid takes you to the larger outdoor section, which is where a big selection of the park's rides are located. This area of the park is located next to a busy road, so you'll be queuing up for Magic and have cars flying past you at the same time. Due to COVID restrictions put in place by the park, you can only get from one section of the park to the other by passing through the Pyramid and following the one-way system. The one-way system is complicated somewhat by the fact there is also a fully operating outdoor market on site. That's right, a market, complete with knockoff clothing and unlicensed mix CDs. Very random. From here you can get some great views of Millennium and Odyssey, while surrounded by dream catchers and made-to-print t-shirts. Strange, quirky, and something you would only see in a UK seaside town. Another small point to note is that the entrance to the car park was a bit sketchy and run down. I was even wondering if I was parking in the right place. This doesn't give a particularly nice first impression. Look and feel of the park gets a C grade. It's a bit of a weird mixture here. The Pyramid has some really nice theming and provides a sense of escapism which is immediately dashed when you step outside and have rides sat next to a busy road. It's an interesting juxtaposition which is both charming and disappointing, but inherently British. The indoor and outdoor sections of Fantasy Island almost feel like different parks. The outdoor rides are typical of an amusement park with only minimal theming and decoration, while the indoors feels quite immersive. Straight off the bat, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Fantasy Island probably have the best COVID safety measures in place that I've experienced this season. Of the 12 parks I've visited, I think Fantasy Island have done the best overall job. Free masks were handed out on entry to the park, which were to be worn on all indoor rides, the roller coasters and Volcano. Hand sanitizer was located at the entrance to all rides, and the one-way system that operated throughout the park was, for the most part, clear and well signposted. The only section that I found a bit confusing was where the entrance to the market crossed over the theme park's pathway, but there was a member of staff on hand to guide people in the right direction. There were also social distancing markers throughout the park and in queue lines. Where Millennium was operating an entry and exit through the same section of its queue, there was plastic sheeting up to segregate people. The park were operating with a limited capacity, which seemed to be at a sensible and manageable level on the day that I visited. A wristband is required to enter the park, which also grants access to the rides, depending on which band you buy. You're required to tap these against a sensor before boarding a ride. Wait times across the park were fairly low due to the reduced capacity, with many attractions being walk-on, with the more popular rides only having queues of 5 or 10 minutes. I found the majority of staff I encountered to be friendly and polite, although there was a quite blunt ride operator on Millennium, but this is a very minor gripe. Operations and customer service gets an A. Swift operations on all the attractions and the best COVID safety measures I've experienced at a theme park so far in 2020. Despite the majority of the indoor food court being closed due to COVID restrictions, there was still a fairly large number of food outlets open around the park, offering the usual amusement park fare such as burgers, hot dogs, chicken, chips and ice cream, as well as some spicier options. There was also a Costa Coffee open inside the pyramid, along with a number of food vans dotted around the marketplace area. I opted for a hog roast bap at Fantasy Foods, which was actually really nice and quite reasonably priced at £4.50. There is some outside seating available, although this filled up quite quickly despite the park not being that busy, so this is something I do think could be problematic for family. I was fine to stand and eat, but parents with children may not be so happy about it. Dining options gets a B. A decent amount of dining options on offer, and food seemed reasonably priced for the most part. I think more seating might need to be considered though, especially on busier days. In the summer season, I paid £25 for a Discovery wristband which gave access to all rides and attractions from 11 AM until 6 PM, with lower priced options available for guests between 0.9 and 1.1 metres. Now we're in the autumn season, you will pay £22.50 for a Discovery wristband and £16.20 for an Adventurer wristband. All-day parking was available, priced at £6. Food was reasonably priced, and the market featured all kinds of different products priced accordingly. Ride photos were available on a handful of rides such as Odyssey, Millennium and Rhombus Rocket, which could be added by scanning your wristband at additional cost. Value for money is a C+. The Discovery wristband is pretty good value for what's included, but I also need to consider that I paid the same for a full day at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, which has a much more impressive ride lineup, and paid much less for Yarmouth Pleasure Beach the day before. So this sits somewhere in the middle where value for money is concerned. So overall, Fantasy Island gets a B-. I really enjoyed Fantasy Island, certainly more than I initially expected when I entered the dubious looking car park. Millennium, Magic and Ice Mountain were the standout attractions for me, although I also found Seaquarium quite charming and thought the Pyramid offered something quite unique to the UK theme park scene. The imbalance between the standard of theming between the indoor and outdoor sections can be a bit jarring, but on the whole I had a really fun time at the park. Have you been to Fantasy Island? Do you agree with our grades? Let us know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and get involved in the discussion in the comments below. If you'd like to follow our theme park adventures, then subscribe to the channel and enable notifications. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/looptpa and on Instagram @looptpa.